Hey you guys, welcome back to another video, and I just really just want to get straight to it, but yeah, I've just been going through a lot. I'm just gonna skip through the part where, I kind of moved out of my apartment and I just like gave it up. Just like, yeah, barely here, not gonna use it. So just temporarily until I get another one, most likely next year, 2024. But yeah, I've been going through a lot of that, and obviously just working with this dude where I am now, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But let's get into it. So I just thought I'd give you guys an update of just everything. Oh, I've been going through a lot, and it's just a hot mess. Especially with this guy I'm with right now. So pretty much it's just, I feel like I'm just paying for this man's fuel. I get paid 35% of the load after tax. So he was just like, yeah, it should come to like 1,500 a week, which I've only received once so far. And well, actually now it's twice today, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Don't get me wrong. I understand we have bad weeks and whatnot, but sometimes it's just like it. I don't think I just like that. He charged me for def because the def was bad. He's just like, why do you keep putting a lot of def in? Because you don't want me to go below half. And now that I don't go below half, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it just must be bad def. Go ahead and go to Love's. And then, it shouldn't happen anymore. But then you charge me for the bad def because I put too much def in because it's past the price that you're willing to pay every week. And then if you think about it, I'm really just at the mercy of the cost of these loads. And then add that up for the week. It's about 4 or 5 loads. And then if there's not like, past a certain amount, like if I'm getting $1,000 load, then a 500, and then a 600 and a 700, maybe even a 1,200 or 1,500. It's just, I'm just at the cost of the load. I'm at the mercy. And then after that, how much fuel? It's like, all right, you fueled $1,500 this week. So here's the cost of everything you've done. You know, uh, take 35% of that. No, uh, so let's just say the load cost 6,000 like all week, and then minus fuel, and then times that by 35%. I don't know. It just sometimes, I don't. That's cool. That's fine. That works for his little company, and that I guess makes sense. But, someone told me that's more of a local thing, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that because when I was local for 2 seconds, he did that. He did it like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. But this guy, like right now, I'm in Missouri. You know what I mean? Like the other day, I go to Pennsylvania and Maryland. So usually he only books next day loads, which is fine. That's how we get, more loads. But I don't know, you guys. I just don't think I'm just up for this. And I need something. I need a company that's a little bit more stable. I need a few more dollars. So I'm looking. I'm just looking. I'm looking. And so I'm like doing this video a different way, but whatever. And then he was telling me that the only best loads that they can get are like between the hours of 9 and 11 a.m. And other than that, I should not expect like a good paying load. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, well, it always depends on, the time of day when we pick up, how long I'm there. There's different factors, to decide whether I can pick up between 9 and 11. And I'm just like, is that like who are your brokers? like I don't know. I guess that's why people don't like brokerage loads, right? Because it's just, yeah. So I don't know. just here I am, just questioning, like, why am I always going to these ridiculous companies? And yeah, like, why am I always going to these ridiculous companies? My mom's like, we need to pray that you can have someone that has integrity, that has, like, wants the best for their drivers. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's all about money. We're all struggling here. They're struggling. We want money. She's like, yeah, but you can still have, like, that integrity and still have the best. So I'm looking, and yeah, yeah. I'm in Missouri right now, on my way to Pennsylvania. And then after that, I need another load to Atlanta. And I told this man, listen, I need a load to Atlanta. It's almost Christmas. It's the 15th right now. So it's Friday. And you didn't even ask me, like, hey, Kelly, you going to go home for the holidays? You going to go home for Christmas? You even didn't ask me. And I'm just like, man, this man really doesn't care. And so, hold on. Okay, this thing keeps stopping. And I just don't want to be with this man any longer. I don't think he has, really good integrity. He probably thinks I'm stupid, honestly. He probably thinks I don't know much, and that I don't know. He probably thinks, like, I don't think she has much, knows much, whatever. She's probably just going to follow my lead. No, sir, I see what you're doing. I don't like how you run your business. It's not for me. It might be for someone, but it's not for me. At this point, I'd rather just do cent per mileage. Give me these runs and let me run them. I don't think I'm a bad driver. I know how to drive, meaning that I know how to run well. Upon hiring me, he was like, yeah, the last two ladies I hired, they only did 200 miles a day. Well, that's them. I need some money. That's them. And so obviously he must know that I'm a decent driver now. Yeah, and so you're like, and then I was having a lot of air issues, like air wouldn't come in my trailer. So I learned something new every day, even though I've been out here for almost 7 years. Wow. I just learned that you can put air in your trailer by pushing down the air brake all the way, putting yourself in neutral, but pushing the red valve in. I did not know that. I know to you guys it might be duh, especially if you own your own vehicle. I never had to deal with that before. I never really had trailer problems like that. You know what I mean? And so, and and there's nothing wrong with, like, learning things new. And I learned something else. What did the guy say? I can't think of it right now, and I'm not gonna, like, think of it. But yeah, I love learning things new. And even if you are experienced, there's always something that happens that it's just like, oh, all right. And there's nothing wrong with the change. You have to do what's best for you. And not all of us want to be out here for the rest of our lives. If you do, that's great. That's fine. But a lot of us don't, and you just realize, like, man, I want to do this, that, and that, but you got to work, and you're out here in America somewhere. And I mean, this job is important. We do move America, truly. I don't think people know that. They do, but they still don't respect us. Like other vehicles on the road, especially cars. It's just like F you. It's like, yeah, everything in your house was delivered by a truck. Yeah. Anyway. Moving on, I'm just ranting right now. So you guys, it's Sunday, I think the 17th or the 17th. A lot's been going on. I got stuck. I'm driving on I-70 going east toward Pittsburgh. I just passed Columbus, Ohio. I'm near exit 157. And there's a construction split. You're either going in one lane or you're going in the other. I go in the furthest lane. All of a sudden, my truck starts acting up, and I can't really start moving. This is bad because I'm about to back up everyone behind me, and it's not like you can get out because we're literally in between two concrete slabs. And I'm just praying because I'm just like, I got to make it back to where they both merge, and then I got to take the shoulder. And thank God that's exactly what happened. I'm on the shoulder now. I'm seeing what's going on. I call up the boss, and he brings out, I'm trying to make this quick, he brings out Loves. Loves is saying that, well, actually, before he brings out Loves, the boss was like, flip the hood, did you empty the fuel filter? I'm like, no. And he was just like, no, you need to be emptying it. I'm like, okay. So I go ahead, I do what the boss says. I empty the fuel filter only halfway. Loves comes out, because he's thinking this is the problem. Loves comes out, and they change the filter and everything. And then he pays the guy like $430 through the phone, and we're good. So DuPont comes back on, or boss comes back on, and was just like, okay, cool, can you move the truck? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even try. I try to move the truck. I cannot move the truck. I revved it up, revved it up to at least 1,000, still can't move it, right? I still can't move it. And I'm trying to move forward, back, can't move it, nothing's working, he's like, oh my goodness, okay, must be something, with maybe, this, I forgot what he said, but he was just like, maybe it just didn't add up, just turn off the truck, click it off and on 8 times, on the 8th time, cycle the gauges, that's my words, and then try again. I do that, I do everything he's telling me, nothing's working. So he calls TA comes, he comes from 32 miles back from where I came from, which is toward Columbus, Ohio. And so the TA guy was like, pretty much, yeah, bro, transmission, pretty much. And I'm just waiting to see what will happen. And I asked the TA guy what's going to happen. He's like, I don't know, but he'll call you to let you know what's the next step. I think he has a guy coming out to see him. Anyway, the boss calls after maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It was like, yeah, I said, you need a wrecker. He's like, yeah, we do. I'm going to have to call somebody. He calls somebody, answers me back, and he's like, yeah, he's coming from Atlanta, Georgia. You're telling me the wrecker is coming from Atlanta to come get your truck in Ohio? Sir, that's 10 hours away. You want me to spend an additional 10 hours on the side of the road while you don't provide anything? It's time for me to go. And then this is where this video comes in when I'm saying I'm leaving. Like, how do you have no money? And so now the TA guy tells me that, he's going to call out somebody, one of his friends or something, to see if they can try to start the transmission. Even if you do start the transmission, then what? You're telling me to hang tight. Sir, how long do you want me to hang tight? For a whole entire day in the truck? So I forgot to tell you the part where the truck's not moving and now it's not turning on. Now the truck's not turning on and it's not moving. It's not the voltage. It's not the starter because the guy checked. It's a transmission. So now we can't even move or turn it on. So now it means I'm in the cold. And I have no food. I have to, I've been buying my food out here. So how long you plan on keeping me here, sir? What he should do is get the wrecker, take us 4.5 miles to Love's or 32 miles back to TA, one or the other. And get me a hotel. But he's not going to do that because he's cheap. He's going to have to call the wrecker. I'm assuming wreckers are not cheap. This guy does not like to spend money. So I don't know what wrecker he's about to call out. He's probably looking for the cheapest one he can find. Sometimes you just, having a company, there's expense. And you have a maintenance account for a reason. Where is man's money going? I'm only saying that because he's always telling somebody, well, I don't have any money on the card. Sir, how you got a business? Excuse the mess in the back. I'm actually packing now because honestly, I'm ready to leave. I know I'm been leaving, trying to leave this dude, but I'm ready to leave.